Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloane, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hard Hats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from at Noah L. Hernandez.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
And we're going to do so while eating a little bit of junk. So I've got my junk food here, which is actually Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Me and Kandyce are both snacking on some good old-fashioned Halloween candy. And right now I'm currently eating some gummy bears.
Yeah, Halloween was 2 days ago. So we have... I hand out the large size, like full size candy bars, but we ran out at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Super early.
With like 90 candy bars. How many were there?
Yeah, it was like 96, I think, candy bars we ran out.
Wow.
So we had at least 100 because we had a backup fun size bag, and then my mom had to come in clutch and bring this huge
much candy.
mound of candy from her store, and that is about halfway gone. So that's what I have. I'll post a pic on Insta so you can see all the leftovers. Also, you must know I've seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan, started watching in 2007, and for the most part, watched it as it aired.
I've seen season 1 and those on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away.
Here's what happened.
All right, guys. This is the season 6 wrap-up. Can you believe that we're done with season 6? This is nuts.
Season 4 was just yesterday.
It really did.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
How long has it been? Like more than half a year.
I think we started in January 2020. Maybe December 2019, the very last, like right after Christmas.
It's November.
And it's November. So we're getting close to our 1 year.
1 year anniversary.
Aww.
Of our podcast.
How romantic. All right, guys. So, as you know, in the season wrap-ups that we do, we go over everything that we learned this season about Monk, about his past, about his relationships, anything we learned about Trudy's case, and any progress that Monk has in regards to getting his badge back. So, that's what we're going to talk about right now in this segment. So, let's start with Monk's past.
Okay.
So we learn in Mr. Monk and the Wrong Man, he notes that he has seen 410 crime scenes. Remember? Because he says, I've seen more crime scenes than I can count. And he says, 410, but...
Oh. And Wrong Man?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's talking about the whole, this is the worst one or whatever?
Yeah, this is the most gruesome one I've ever seen. Yeah.
Really? Out of 400? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, for real.
He was kidnapped and taken to Corpus Christi on Thanksgiving Day.
That's obviously by Marcy Maven.
Of course.
Classic. In the Christmas episode, Dr. Kroger is asking Monk about Christmas at his house, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's telling him about the Christmas of 1964, where his mom was sick, his dad was being his dad, and Ambrose had locked himself in the basement. So that was Monk's Christmas of 1964.
Also, in Mr. Monk and the Birds and the Bees, when he's talking to Julie, he mentions that he waited for Trudy, waited for the perfect girl, and he enjoyed falling in love with her every single day, which is so cute.
Yeah, it is so cute.
And he's going to be buried right next to her, which is so sad.
Yeah, that is. I think that's when they're messing with the urns.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, well, I'm going to be buried next to Trudy. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, it's so cute and sad. He remembers his mother's cooking. This is another session that we're in with Dr. Kroger. This is in The Buried Treasure. I think it's maybe when the episode starts. It's just a nice little memory where Monk's just talking about, the aroma of his mom's cooking filled up the kitchen and that she was a really good cook. So that's interesting.
This is the last thing, and Monk compares his house to a very creepy house that he sees in The Three Julies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because doesn't someone say, can you imagine growing up in a house like this?
And then Monk's like, it looks like mine.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I can. Yep. All right, so not too much about Monk's past, right?
Yeah.
But some little tidbits, some good stuff there. Next is Monk's relationships. So not necessarily his relationships, but other relationships that we learn about in Monk as well, right? Because by now we're invested in all of the characters. So any type of relationship that they have is good for us. Mm-hmm. So let's start with family. I actually only have one, and that is Monk and Julie. Aww. And I counted her as family because they're not really friends, right? Like they're not peers. So I like this because we do get to see a very sweet bonding moment between the two of them. Mm-hmm. And it is a very fatherly figure thing to do, to give someone the talk.
Yes.
So I just put that as family, and I thought that was really sweet. And then, of course, at the end of that episode, she even gives Mr. Monk a kiss.
Oh, yeah. That's so cute. So, next we're going to be talking about the romance, which is Julie and Tim, and Julie and Clay, the two boyfriends rivaling for Julie.
Yep. Of course, that soul crushed you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, that one's a little personal. I feel like that hits close to home.
No. Either one, both bad.
Either one.
Julie's mine.
Tim is better, though. Let's be fair.
Tim is better. I was sad to see that Julie is so rude to Tim. But in the end, they're back together. And as far as we know, she's with Tim.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see them in season 7 where they break up. But you'll have to wait until next week.
Oh, that's so sad. All right, so next is the Captain and Linda, right? So I didn't realize, you actually realized, and probably the rest of everyone else in the Monkverse realized that they were going to get engaged, right? Because the Captain was going to propose on their trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Which I obviously didn't understand until the end. But this was obviously, I feel like this definitely showed how far they were in their relationship, right? Mm-hmm. We put the math together. They were at least together for a year.
Yeah.
And he was going to propose. Then Linda turned out to be a murderer. So there's that. Mm-hmm. And of course, Leland is absolutely crushed. And he doesn't think that he'll find love again. And as of right now, he has not. So there's that. That's very... we're looking forward to seeing what happens with Leland coming up. Next is going to be friends. Monk and anyone that he, has come in contact with, or just some little flashbacks I see here. And yeah, do you want to start us off with
Marcy? Of course. Okay, so Mr. Monk and his number one fan, obviously. So their relationship is consisting of her kidnapping him getting a restraining order, her bidding on him, she almost being his assistant, and her moving on to another dude to harass.
F. Murray Abraham. Yes, absolutely. That is, friend may be used loosely, right? But it is technically a relationship of monks. And I think she's gone. She's gone for good. She's on to F. Murray Abraham. All right. And for this one, I actually put Dr. Kroger. Again, I feel like they're, maybe not necessarily friends, as Dr. Kroger probably wouldn't want them to, be called friends, but Adrian wouldn't mind it. And I feel like Dr. Kroger just really stepped it up this season. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we'll see in these episodes that we talk about coming up that he's put in a lot with Monk. He's actually helped him, right? Yeah. He helped him get out of the cult. He helped with the operation in Mr. Monk and the Three Julies. He helped him get over, Harold Crenshaw and the Daredevil, right? Explaining like, look, I didn't do anything for Harold. Like, that wasn't me. You have to understand. And then, when he's put on suicide watch, he helps him through that. Mm-hmm. And then he actually helps him overcome his aversion to naked people. Oh, yeah. And Mr. Monk and the Naked Man, right? They actually dig deep. They get somewhere, which we don't get to see a lot. And Dr. Kroger actually helped, which is amazing. He's also able to give him a gift in the buried treasure, right? Because he sees that Harold got him a watch. And so he's like, he has to one-up him. So then we get to see a whole entire episode about their developing relationship and possible friendship. And then, of course, for Dr. Kroger personally, his son came around in the end and wanted to follow in his footsteps. And so, that was nice.
That was very nice. Next for friendships and last, we have Monk's lawyers, which are Garrett Price, who we see twice as the same character, but the other person who he switches from Garrett Price as a lawyer.
Oh, yeah, and the Mr. Monk's on the run.
Yes.
Yeah, uh-huh.
His lawyer, Mr. Monk, is on the run, is his principal from Mr. Monk. What's that called?
Little Monk.
Little Monk.
Yeah.
Mr. Monk and Little Monk. It's Principal Thicket from Mr. Monk and Little Monk, because Kandyce was like, hey, who's that guy from?
That's so true. I recognize that guy from somewhere. It is Monk. Yes. So, yeah, I think that's actually our last Monk relationship.
Yeah.
And let's move on to Trudy's case, which we actually figure out something about this season, which is amazing, right? And again, I also put down, I like to put down just little Trudy-isms, not only things pertaining to her case, because she is such a central part of this series.
Yes.
That we like to learn just little tidbits about her. So I will start with, as of the Santa Claus episode, it has been 10 years since Trudy's death, right? Because they're freaking out like Monk's upset. It's been 10 years. She died near Christmas. And so, yeah, we learned that it's actually been 10 years right then and there.
Yes. We learned she was an organ donor to Maria Cordova, who now has Trudy's eyes or corneas.
Yeah.
Which
is crazy. We actually get to see part of Trudy. And that's wild. And that's very Trudy.
Yeah.
I'm sure that has nothing to do with her case. But we got to see that. That's amazing. I love that.
It's a really good scene as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also, we learned that Trudy loved Christmas. They always watch the sun come up together on Christmas morning, which is so sweet. Aww. And Monk says that Trudy always said, Christmas made the world seem a little softer, which is amazing. I love that. That's so cute.
Oh, okay. So Trudy's bracelet being in the deposit box, which was in Mr. Monk Goes to the Bank. And also, it was her grandmother's. And she wore it all the time.
Yep, that's true.
And then also we see that sly comment from the pawn shop owner who's like, what is it?
We also learned Trudy is a nice piece.
He goes, nice piece you got there. And the bracelet's good too.
Terrible, terrible. Only appropriate because she's Jan from The Office.
Yes.
That's the only reason. Okay. All right, so now we actually get into her case, which is amazing. Obviously, this, I would say all of this is from Mr. Monk is on the Run Part 2. But they find the Six-Finger Man, right? So that is the clue that they've got 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
We finally find this man, and then 2 seconds later, he's dead.
Yep.
But we do get to see a clue, right? Do you remember what the clue is?
The judge.
We also see Dale the Whale, right? And we know that he knows a lot more than he's letting on, right? Because he found Frank Nunn in, South America or whatever. And yeah, so maybe Dale the Whale knows more in the future. Maybe he doesn't. But as of now, that is the clue that we have about Trudy.
Yeah.
The last thing is Monk's badge.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So, again, not much to say, but we do see some maybe role reversals, role switcheroos.
So he is the head of security for Murder Russ.
Doesn't he? I got confused on this one. He accepts that job. He's like, I'm also head of security. And he's like, how did that happen? He's like, I don't know. And then he has a grill. So he actually does become the head of security for him. He's also hired by him. And then at the end, Murderous wants him to go on tour with him and be his security guard.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, I can. At the end, he's like, Natalie, what did I say? Like, you said no. You did good. So, yeah. The next thing is, in The Man Who Shot Santa Claus, we learned that the captain says that Monk had a badge for 14 years. Yeah, so that means that he was a police officer for 14 years
before Trudy died. He would have been really young.
Wait, hang on. Okay, so say he's 49 years old right now, right? 48 or 49. Okay, so say he's 49 years old right now. We're minusing 10 years from Trudy. That's 39. And then 39 minus 14.
He was 25 when he became a detective?
That makes sense, though.
Whoa.
Wait, no, he wore a badge.
So he was like a mall cop.
What? No, 25. That's like you graduate college. He probably graduated from Berkeley whenever he was, 18, 19, 20, 21? 21 or 22?
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 whole years later, he became a police officer. That's not bad.
Checks out, yeah.
Yeah, checks out.
Don't you have to only go to like...
Do we know what he went to school for?
I don't
We
know.
need some more backstory on Monk.
I know, what?
We need some more
He's never
backstory.
been like explicitly like, oh my gosh, I want to study for a test. Huh. I never thought about that.
Yeah, we should ask Ty Conrad.
I know, right?
Man,
Was
the
Monk a
questions we
nerd?
didn't ask. No, I want to know what he got his bachelor's in.
Yeah.
What did he go to school for? Yeah, what the heck? Okay. All right, the last thing.
Okay. Monk in the bank becomes the bank security.
Yeah. So he gets to wear a uniform again.
And Natalie is complimenting him. Oh, you look so good. And kind of hitting on him the entire episode, but we won't even talk about that.
Yeah. Don't make me shoot you.
Don't make me shoot you.
All
It's a
right.
reference. You wouldn't understand.
Hopefully they would understand. Okay, let's move on to our likes and dislikes, per usual, except for instead...
We're going to do, instead of doing our likes and our dislikes, we're going to be doing our lows and our highs.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with the lows.
Oh, geez.
What is our number 3 low for this season?
Our number 3 low, Candyce, is when Mr. Monk is stuck in gravel.
Yes.
Gravel.
It's gravel. Oh my God, it's gravel.
It is in Mr. Monk and the Buried Treasure, and he's freaking out.
Yep.
Needless to say.
Yep, and he wants Troy to keep rolling down the window. Or unlock the door. Unlock the door, Troy. Unlock the door. Mr. Monk, it's unlocked. I'm not playing. Unlock the door. And then he finally gets him calmed down. And then they're like, okay, let's play 20 questions. He's like, it can be anything. It can be an animal. It can be a vegetable. It can be a mineral. And he's like, okay. He's like, is it a mineral? Yes. Is it gravel? It's gravel. I love it. And then poor Mr. Monk, Troy tries to turn off the overhead light.
Oh.
And he turns it off and Monk's just like, turn it back on. And he's like, okay, fine. And then Troy's like, Mr. Monk, just calm down. You have to calm down. And he's like, tell me the next one. He's like, okay, partly cloudy. He said it wasn't going to rain. It never rained. It's like, okay, you're doing good. You're good. What about the next day? It was sunny. Or no, he even says what, like August 6th, 1964 or something. Like, oh my God.
Because that's when you realize that he's just reading out days to him of the weather.
And we thought he was talking about Trudy.
Yeah.
And being sweet. It's like, okay, what's the next day? Oh man, so good. Yes, so
That's number 3.
It's gravel.
Yeah.
It's gravel. It's gravel.
Do you want to say number 2, Candyce?
Okay, number 2 has got to be Trudy's picture. Okay, this is in Mr. Monk joins a cult, right? Whenever Monk doesn't want to leave the cult, so they kidnap him, they lock him in a room, and everyone tries their best to do, get Monk unbrainwashed. Dr. Kroger, again, with the home run, comes in and says, how would Trudy act?
Ooh.
What would Trudy say? What would she think? Like, she would not approve of this.
Yeah.
And Monk tries to deny it. He tries to not care. And then Dr. Kroger holds up that picture of Trudy. And Monk looks at it. And then Dr. Kroger crumbles it right in front of him. And just tosses it on the floor. And Monk's heart just breaks. Mm-hmm. And he's like... And in that moment, he bends down to pick it up. And he's unfolding it. And he's just holding it. All of his emotions, like all of these things that he's been trying to suppress, are all flooding back to him in that moment. So he's opening this and he's thinking, what would Trudy think? And then all those feelings about how much he misses Trudy. Because remember, that's the reason that he is this way. Mm-hmm. He has OCD. He has these things. But Trudy, she helped with it. She made him less quirky. She made him less, concerned and worried about everything. So whenever he thought, oh, like, I'm good, I'm fine, it all comes rushing back in that one moment. And man, if you haven't seen the screenshot, I posted the screenshot of us watching this very scene, and it got us too. Yeah. So yeah, that is our number 2 low for this season, Trudy's picture.
And I will go ahead and say our number 1, which is Mr. Monk being on suicide watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's all distraught about Harold being, not the worrisome person that he thought he was, and actually being, an actual person. And Monk is like, wow, so everyone, not even Harold, is crazy and is put on suicide watch and is just messed up. And actually, I'm going to be honest, this one is kind of only on the very top because it's, he wants to commit suicide. But me and Candyce talked about this in the episode that we reviewed it in, and it was like, we didn't really think he had to, want to commit suicide for that.
Yeah. Almost like, I get what you're saying, kind of like it's hard, almost like it's hard to believe. Like it's hard to buy the fact that he would be, on suicide watch for that reason. So it's like, well, was it really low? Like, well, technically, yeah, it was. Like when Dr. Kroger has to come and take away his shoelaces and his knives and all of that, it's like, I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, he is, he is in a low place. And also, to be fair, he does say, I don't want to kill myself. I just don't want to be alive.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference. I wish I was never born. Not the same thing, people. So, which there's a difference. There's a difference. But as, his friends see it, as his therapist sees it, we got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
And he's distraught. So, yeah.
And also, the next episode we talked about, which was Mr. Monk and the Wrong Man, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were like, well, this seems like a good time to be depressed.
Yeah.
Because he's literally, like, all right with convicting. Or not completely all right. But it's just, like, kind of sad that he convicted the wrong guy.
He's just trying to make it up to him, I guess. And that was in one of the runnings, for this, for Lowe. And we're like, but he wasn't that upset about it. Like, again, even trying to take our own perspective, like, that was a low moment where he convicted the wrong man. But he wasn't as upset about it as he was about Harold. So we couldn't put it, Yeah. So that's just kind of how it panned out. These are his emotional lows, and he didn't portray that in those episodes.
Yeah, because there's situational lows and there's emotional lows.
Yeah.
Monk was in a worse situation with convicting the wrong guy, but he didn't react in a low way. So that's why suicide watch is on the top, because he reacted highly for this one.
Yep. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay. Next is the highs. So let's get smiley now. Okay. All right. So number 3 is going to be Mr. Monk paints his masterpiece. All right. And this is cute, oblivious Monk that we know and love. He thinks that he's on top of the world because he is the world's newest, best Picasso and Da Vinci all wrapped into one. And this, Pecha guy, he's telling him, he's giving him all of his money, he's doing all the things, and then Monk just takes it to the max, and he needs his light, he needs his French music, he's paying Dr. Kroger with his sketches, his sketch. When I just picture that Dr. Kroger sketch, I can't handle it. I love it so much. I wish I had it. And yeah, he's on top of the world until he's not, right? He figures out he sucks, but but he's having a time. He's having a time with his paintings, and all of his teacher, all of his peers, they're all jealous of him, and he just thinks he's the hot stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's the number 3.
If I'm being honest, Monk really could have faked it till he made it. Someone else would have been like, wow, I really love it. Because if enough people are like, man, that's really good. But,
that's a great point.
He could have faked it till he made it. He could have.
Yep, that is so true. That is so true. I love that. Yep. Because again, it's subjective. We liked it. They obviously didn't like it, so that kind of hurts it. We liked it, but again, art is subjective. If someone tells you that it's good, and like the teacher starts thinking, oh, maybe he is, then maybe she starts teaching that way, and then everybody starts trying to paint like Monk and using a ruler and all this, making their swooshes not so swooshy and all that. So yeah, good point. Oh, I love it.
Okay, so next I'm going to do our number 2 high, which is actually Monk being quote-unquote free in the cult. I think he was free. Candyce just put, quotes around it. But he was free, okay? He loved the cult. He wore yellow all the time. He sold the flowers. He sold all the flowers. He doesn't want to leave, and he lets go of his wipes. Candyce, Monk was free. Look at that.
Right, but remember, this is our number 2 high. But remember, our number 2 low from 5 minutes ago was Trudy's picture. So those things were there, and Trudy's hurt was still there. He wasn't free. If he was free, he would have been like, oh, my wife is so beautiful, and I loved her, and I've moved on. But he saw her picture. He breaks down, and all that stuff comes flooding back. He is not free. As much as I would like for him to move on, it just shows that he doesn't. He also had 10 petals on the daisies.
He was free. Candyce. The only reason Trudy's picture even came up was because Dr. Kroger put it in front of his face and was like, we miss you, Monk. Come back to us. But if no one did that, Monk would have been completely fine.
Oh, okay.
He would have. He really liked it. The entire scene is about him wanting to go back and how much he loved it.
It's a utopian community. We talked about this.
What do they say? We prefer. We prefer community, right? When it's like they say like cult or something, or Natalie says like it's a cult or something, and they're like we prefer the word community or something. I don't remember.
I don't.
Like
I feel like I know what you're talking about. But
okay, just get to our number 1 on highs.
Okay, our number 1 high is of course Trudy's eyes. All right, we've talked about Trudy's eyes already, but. And it's a very, very small part of the episode, right? This whole Mr. Monk is up all night. He can't sleep. He has this visceral reaction to this woman that he doesn't know. He's never seen her before. He can't place her. Doesn't know what's going on. And then at the very end, he still can't. He's looking at her and he still can't figure it out until he sees her tattoo. And it says the date that Trudy died. And she's like, well, that's the day I was reborn. I got a cornea transplant. And he's like, oh. From Trudy Monk, and she's like, yeah, Trudy Monk. And so it's amazing, and he essentially gets to see Trudy, again in some small way. He gets to see her eyes, which are the eyes that have looked at him all those years, and that he will never get to see again either.
Yeah.
So sad.
That's so sad.
But it's a high. But it is a high though. It is a beautiful scene. He's touching her face, and they have that really sweet moment, and of course there's tears, but that it is a high moment when you get to see your loved one's eyes again.
He's the guy. Okay, Candyce, we're gonna be saying our favorite guest star and our honorable mention guest star. And I think we have the same people because the same people are the best people, and I love those people.
Okay, so let's start with honorable mention then.
Okay.
Who is your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is Snoop Dogg.
Dang.
Who's yours?
Mine is Snoop D-O double G.
Yes. He's so good.
He is. I honestly thought that, I'm assuming we have the same top one, but
yeah.
Okay, I thought you would pick Howie Mandel.
No.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Snoop Dogg just brought like a whole that level of cool. He did. So famous.
He brought a level of cool to Monk.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. And of course we heard from High Conrad that they had, up on the board where they had an idea of him to be dealing with rappers and the music industry. And then also daylight savings time and the car bomb and whatever. So,
it was daylight savings time yesterday.
It was daylight savings time.
And we were like, oh my gosh, we're so tired. And we're like, it's 5 o'clock.
That's true. That did happen. But yeah, Snoop Dogg. I don't know what you wanted to say about him in particular. Did you have anything?
No, just that he was, cool.
Okay. I put that he acted well. Like I thought it was pretty good acting, right? I personally, one of the reasons that I love this episode so much is because of Snoop Dogg, and I get excited for all of the scenes that I know he's going to be in. Yeah. So I love that, especially like his entrance whenever he's like, murder us. It's so good. It's so good. And of course, one of my favorite lines is whenever, Lieutenant Disher says, Under your limo, that's where the surprise is.
Prizes.
Under your seat, like Oprah giving prizes. Sound familiar? Not the way you do it. It's like, I get to bring my boombox. But yeah, I just love that line. I love that delivery by Snoop Dogg. Not the way you do it. So good. And then, of course, we have this scene. I don't think we talked about this one line. This is whenever they are in his mansion, right? And Monk wants to back out, and they're playing gangbangers, right, on the thing. And Monk's like, "Okay, so here's the thing." And he's like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about? You're not about to back out on me." And he says, and I quote, this is a straight quote. He says, "If you back out," I'm laughing. Okay. "If you back out now, I'm in deep dookie mookie, and that's church for shizzle my dizzle. You know what I'm saying?" It looks like, no, not really.
I'm in deep dookie my mookie, that's for shizzle.
Oh my gosh, I just love that. I know he totally did not talk about that. And so I was going back over the episode and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to write this line down. So I hope you enjoyed. And then, of course, we have the rap summation at the end, which is so given to us by none other than Snoop Dogg.
Oh my gosh.
Who else could do that? He did it. He killed it.
Summation?
Most
In
memorable.
my opinion.
Yeah.
So far. It's also the episode that you quote the most, in my opinion, because you and Toby always under your seat. That's what the surprise is.
Under your seat, like Oprah giving prizes. Oh man, I ain't no Boy Scout neither. I love that. I love it. Okay, all right.
Do you want me to go?
Time for our favorite.
My number one favorite guest star actress is Sarah Silverman.
Oh, of course. Who else could it be? I can't believe, and this was episode 1 and 2. This is crazy. It was at the very, very beginning. And Sarah Silverman. We've talked about it before, right? How she liked our photo, or she liked our photo or video or something. And she said, "Oh, how sweet," whenever she was singing her song.
Oh, yeah.
And his name is Adrian. I said, hey. So good. Love it. Great musical performance. And she was just so perfect to play this part. So perfect. Her voice, like that's her, like she talks like that.
Yeah.
Like with that kind of nasal thing. And that is, it's just so perfect for Marcy. And then her mannerisms, just everything. Like, it's like she's so, it's so good.
It's
like
so perfect.
It's almost like, because she's wearing Monk's clothes.
Yeah.
And then she's kind of like acting monkish, and she wipes off the counter and she's like, "You won't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Okay, now you can speak to him."
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it's so good. I love her condescendingness, if that's a word, to Natalie. Right? Because she's obsessed with Monk and she loves him, but she just goes back and forth from being like, "Oh yeah, I love you, Mr. Monk," and to being like, "I don't think we need a chaperone," and just so condescending to Natalie, like, "Are you sure the dog was dead when you buried it?" "Am I sure my dog was dead when I buried it? What do you think, I'm a nut?" So it's like, she just goes from being like so loving to so hateful for Natalie, which again is her performance. Yeah. She does that. That's her performance. I love it.
So good.
Yeah. And of course, Hi Conrad, this was his most memorable guest star as well. And he said she was so nice and professional and she had a blast. And so that just makes it even better to know that she was kind and that she, did her thing. And so good job, Sarah Silverman.
Good job.
Love
Round
it.
of applause.
Well, next it's junk time. Okay.
All right.
How much candy have you eaten so far?
I've only eaten one.
Okay. Me too.
One little Reese's.
I ate a Milky Way Simply Caramel. So I'm a caramel lover, and they actually have a bag called Caramel Lovers.
Whoa.
And so there's Milky Way caramels. There's M&M caramel.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
That, like, literally just M&Ms. They're filled with caramel instead of chocolate or peanut butter.
Oh, cool.
But you have to like caramel.
During junk time while Kandyce is eating, I wanted to talk to you guys about our Instagram. So you guys can go check out our Instagram photos at junkmonkpodcast, where me and Kandyce, we dressed up for Halloween, and I was Randy and she was Sharona. And we killed it on our costumes. So you can go check out our Instagram post because I really, really, really wanted to show you guys it. And that's all I have for Junk Time. And Kandyce, take it away.
Also, we had Toby dressed up as Mr. Monk. And we had our little pup, Frazier, dressed up as the Frisco Fly. And he arguably had the best costume. He was absolutely adorable. He had his green little leotard. He had his goggles. And he had a parachute pack. And it was so cute.
He was so cute.
People did not know what he was, but I just said, oh, he's a daredevil. And he was.
Yeah.
So... all right, and yes, Noah is correct about our Instagram. We made a post about it, so make sure you go give it a like, go check it out. And also on Insta, every week, right? You guys know this. If you're on our Insta, we do Happy Monk Day, where we show you a Monk Day sneak peek of our episode that's releasing that week. We have Trivia Tuesday. We have Wacky Wednesday. We have Here's the Thing Thursday. And we have Fan Friday, where you get to rate the episode and let your opinions be heard. So what we're going to do, like we did last season, is we're going to go through some of the Here Are the Things Thursday. All right, so from week 1, we asked, which diorama would you make of Monk? Right?
Oh, yeah.
We have Mr. Monk on stage with Snoop Dogg. Mr. Monk and Mrs. Monk. Oh, that'd be a sad one.
Yeah.
Mr. Monk and the Very Old Man, the scene where he jumps on the table because of the snakes. That's a good one. Mr. Monk and the Three Pies, which obviously. And Mr. Monk and the Astronaut. That would be good. Have him chasing down the airplane. From Mr. Monk and the Rapper, we have Poppin' or Bangin'. Okay, we had 83% of you said, of course, Poppin'. Trying to holler at little mama, her booty poppin', guys. Poppin', not bangin'. Poppin'. Okay. Ooh, this one is interesting. Okay, I put thoughts on Linda Baskin. So maybe you guys thought that I was talking about Carol Baskin.
Linda Baskin.
But I was talking about Linda Fusco. Okay, I asked, did you think that Linda planned it all along, or did you think that her and Stottlemeyer's relationship was the real thing? 64% said you thought that she had planned it all along.
Really?
Yeah.
We said no, right?
Yeah, we said no. That had to be the real thing. They were dating for a whole year. There's no way she was planning on killing her partner for a year, right? I don't think so. I think you guys might be wrong.
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'm not getting it done. Okay, but thank you for answering either way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we just like to have the microphone so you can't rebut us. Okay, all right. So I asked for what unlimited refills would you get of what drink? So we have Sierra Springs. We had a Sprite. We had a blood orange San Pellegrino. That was fancy.
Ooh.
Okay, and then the last person said Apple Izzy's. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but if you look it up, it's very familiar. I recognize it. Okay. We have from Mr. Monk and the Daredevil, I asked, who's your favorite superhero? We had Monk, the Frisco Fly, of course,
that's a good one.
Wonder Woman, Batman, or Superman on some days, and Spider-Man. Ooh, for Mr. Monk and the Wrong Man, I asked tattoos, yay or nay?
Yay.
We had...
Wait, what do you think?
Well, I think nay.
I think yay.
Okay.
Read the votes.
61% said yay.
Yay!
All you little rebels out there. I love it. Okay.
This. We are little rebels.
Okay, this one is very relevant right now. Okay. For Mr. Monk and the Man Who Shot Santa Claus, I asked, when do you decorate for Christmas? Before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving?
After.
We had 71% of people said after Thanksgiving.
Like a normal human being.
Yeah.
Kandyce is going crazy this year.
I succumb to peer pressure, guys. There's someone that told me that if you decorate earlier, that you get more Christmas out of your life. If you wait until after Thanksgiving, sometimes that's like November 28th. Then your house is only decorated for a month. So the next thing is, what gets you in the mood for Christmas? I love this one. People said Hallmark movies.
Ooh, I want to answer.
Okay. You know you already answered this question, right?
I
During
did.
our junk time before?
Yeah, but I want to answer again.
Oh, okay.
What did I say last time?
Music.
Yeah, I was about to say music.
Okay. Noah needs this wrap up. He doesn't remember things that he said. Okay. Hallmark movies, shopping for gifts, music, the weather, music,
the weather.
movies, Christmas music after it's Thanksgiving, and watching Christmas movies with my family. Nice. So that was it for our Here's the Thing Thursdays. Now, let's do a little bit of trivia. Okay, so last season, Noah got on to me for giving you guys hard questions. So I made them easier, I think. I think they were easier. Okay, we'll see. I'm going to give you the ones that they got wrong, right?
Okay.
So you can be the judge whether they're hard or not. Okay. So this one is, which of these items does Marcy not salvage of Adrian's? Do you remember the line? This is your blank. This is your blank. This is your blank. Okay.
Lamp, pants, rug.
Okay. There
That's
you
it?
go. Right. Okay. So this is what I had. Well, the answer choices were right. You're looking for the one that is not. So I said glass, pants, chair, rug. You basically just said
chair.
it because you said the whole line. Yeah. It's chair.
I said lamp.
I thought you said cup. Oh, you didn't say cup?
No, I said lamp, rug, and pants. I had no idea.
To be fair though, people didn't say glass. They said rug. Yeah. She definitely says rug though.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's come on guys.
That one was kind of easy. Come on.
Okay, this one guys. You got to step it up on this one. What game does Randy play to take out the bad guy? Hacky sack, timber, darts, cornhole.
Timber.
It is timber, yeah.
Easy. That one's easy.
That was easy, right? Okay. Mr. Monk and the Birds and the Bees. Who are the boys Julie is deciding between?
Oh.
Okay,
nobody and nobody.
Let me give you the answer choices.
No, it better be Noah. Oh my gosh, I better be on that list.
Tim and Matt. Andrew and Clay. Tim and Clay. Andrew and Matt.
Tim and Clay. You should have
That
put
is
me on
correct.
there. God.
I used the real actors' names.
Oh, you
and
did?
put them all mixed up.
That's cute.
Yeah, so you guys got it wrong. It's Tim and Clay.
What'd they put?
They put Andrew and Clay. Okay, this one, guys, come on. This is Mr. Monk and the Buried Treasure. If Randy is the lion, what is the baby cub? His guitar, the captain's respect, a Diet Coke, or heavy metal music?
A Diet Coke.
They said his guitar.
What? Oh, that's a good guess. That's such a good guess.
Okay, this is the worst. Guys, you did the worst on this. How does Troy get Monk to calm down under the gravel? Talking about Trudy, reciting Dr. Kroger's sessions, singing show tunes, or recalling previous weather?
Did they put talking about Trudy?
They did say talking about Trudy.
And it's weather.
It is only 2 people.
What?
Said the correct answer.
You fools! How did you mess that up?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
This is from Mr. Monk Joins a Cult. Which is not a song lyric of the cult? Father, please protect me.
That's one.
Father, please correct me. Father, please mend me. Father, please perfect me.
Oh no!
Which is not
It was
a lyric.
Father, please protect me. Father, please bend me. Father, please perfect me. And Father, please what?
Correct me.
Oh my gosh! They all fit so perfectly. I'm gonna go with Father, please perfect me. It was?
That's correct.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's Father, please protect me. Father, please correct me. Father, please mend me. There never said, please perfect me.
I knew it. I'm so smart.
Yep.
Let's go. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this is the very last question, guys. You ready?
I'm ready.
How much money, this is from Mr. Monk Goes to the Bank. How much money is Randy jealous of the statue for having in his bucket?
$75. Wait, so.
Okay. The answer choices are 5, 80, 500, or 2,000.
Oh, jeez. 580.
500 or 2,000.
80. Final
Yep.
answer.
Yep. Most people said 500. Yeah, which makes kind of sense because it's like that's how much you would be jealous of someone for. But you know, Randy, he was jealous about $80.
$80 is a lot for standing there.
Untaxed. I could just stand there. Yes, you could. All right. What was your favorite junk food from this season? So I wrote...
My least favorite would have to be the expired pork rinds you gave me. Which I will never let go.
Okay, mine were the orange cuties.
That was your least favorite?
Yeah, remember whenever I got the orange cuties and they were all shriveled up inside?
Oh, yeah.
And they were all bitter. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I know my favorite. Oh my gosh, you wrote all them down.
Okay, so let's see. We have some good ones, I think. We had fudge.
Oh my god.
We had cloud bread.
Oh!
We had the Noah Nonners. Those were really good.
Those were good.
Peanut brittle was really good. Syrian donuts.
Oh, that was so good.
We had the Travis Scott burger. We had skinny pop, applesauce, pecans, kettle corn, ant, Leslie's Nut Crunch. I checked the tapes, by the way. I said ant. For sure, I said ant.
No,
yeah.
you did not.
I did. I checked the tape, yeah.
Oh, my God.
You made me nervous because I was like, if I said aunt, I'm going to look like such an idiot. And I was like, no, I wouldn't say aunt. I said aunt. Yeah, no. What about your lemon, cucumber, lemon, pepino? What was it? Lemon pepino. Okay, what is your favorite?
I'm going to have to give an honorable mention to Noah's Nonners and Cloud Bread. But Kandyce, Syrian donuts is taking on the crown.
Really? Okay.
They were really good. And we ate them on camera. They were really good.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I won't lie. Okay. I'll give my honorable mentions to Aunt Leslie's Nut Crunch. That's just way too good.
Oh, those are so good.
That was good. I'll give my second honorable mention to the campfire marshmallows.
Oh,
those were so surprisingly good. Yeah, it was like we just kind of grabbed them. We were like, whatever, and they were like, these are good, and we kept like they were good, guys. Trust us, they were really good. Someone got that in the mystery monk box.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was Lisa got them.
Oh, good job, Lisa.
And I'm gonna go with my top junk, guys. I have to do it. Pop-Tart Bites.
Really?
Pop-Tart Bites. Those are my freaking jam now. Oh my gosh, I love them. Those are so freaking good. I can't even. Yes. Out of all the things, Pop-Tart Bites. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Gross.
What's happening? What's happening?
That's totally gross.
Okay.
I really thought Cloud Bread was gonna take it. Cloud Bread was good, right?
I mean, I think it was good for what it was.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, it didn't have like very many ingredients or anything. It was just kind of something that was like looked cool, and it was cool. But as far as like taste goes, it doesn't compare to the other stuff that we put on top of that. But it's still up there. It was fun.
I think Syrian donuts deserve the win.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at you. Actually, I am kind of mad at you giving it Pop-Tart Bites.
Well, I figured you would.
That's so basic.
It's personal, though. I've never tried them, and it's so cool. Oh, you know what's not on the list, though? The lychee and the mochi and the Cheetos. None of those were on the top, though. Not for me.
I like the...
But I forgot to put them.
The lychee. I really like the lychee.
Yeah.
It was good.
All right, guys. Moving on. Last season, remember, we had someone send in a list of all their favorite episodes, right, of season 5, and they ranked them, right? And then we compared them to our list. So it was kind of a fun way to see kind of at least one sample of what you guys are thinking, right? Because we're over here saying, our number 1 episode, isn't that the best episode ever?
Yeah.
And you guys are like, yeah, that's like number 13 on my list.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be cool to have somebody else submit a list. And I chose, this is from Nick M on YouTube. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm going to go through his list just very quickly. 16 for him is going to be The Rapper. Okay. 15, The Naked Man. 14, The Three Julies.
Oh my god.
13, Buried Treasure. 12, Daredevil. 11, Paints His Masterpiece. 10, The Wrong Man. 9, Birds and Bees. 8, Goes to the Bank. 7, Up All Night. 6, The Bad Girlfriend. 5, His Biggest Fan. 4, The Cult. 3, On the Run Part 1. Number 2, Man Who Shot Santa Claus. And number 1 was On the Run Part 2. So I know a couple of those that are way, way off from ours. So I'm excited to get into ours in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? That was crazy. There's one at the very end, Naked Man at the very bottom, which I agreed with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay. All right. So that is the end of junk time, actually. So let's move on.
Plot holes.
All right.
Kandyce, what do we have on the agenda for plot holes?
Okay, so we actually have never done this one before. I added it because it's my favorite segment, and I was like, I'm going to leave out my favorite segment. What? Heck no. Okay, so we're going to have 2 categories for this one. We're going to have our plot hole that we are most proud of, that we figured out.
Of course.
And then we're going to have what we consider to be the biggest plot hole, right? We each chose one of those things. So, do you want to start off with the biggest or the most proud of?
I say proud of.
Okay.
Because I have a good one. In Mr. Monk and the Three Julies, when they found the other Julies dead, the officer was all like, oh my gosh, this is Julie Teager. But Natalie would have known that it wasn't Julie Teager because Julie has no ID, and that's what the entire episode is centered about, her getting her ID.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was really inquisitive with this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm very accomplished.
Yeah, we poked a lot of holes in that episode, and as we just kept talking and talking and
Yeah.
talking, because remember, it was my plot hole. I was like, she could have just asked for the date of birth on the ID, and you were like, she doesn't have an ID. It's like, oh, you got me. So it's still, I wasn't necessarily debunked. It added to my amazing plot hole. But I do agree, that's a good one. Okay, this is the one that I'm most proud of. It is Evil Clay from Mr. Monk and the Birds and the Bees, right? We don't know what's up with this guy, Clay.
Yeah.
He's just all over Julie. Julie's like, I love you, whatever. He gets in the car after he leaves Julie's house, and we see that he's in cahoots with the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
The Aunt Karen that hired him, and he's talking to her on the phone. He's like, oh, yeah, I got her. I just got to reel her in. And I'm like, wait a second. Clay's not an evil genius. He's literally just a kid who was hired by her aunt. Like, he looked like he was about to pull out a gun in this moment. Clay's not evil, guys.
Yeah.
He's just a normal kid who wanted some money. Yet this scene is like, don't you worry about it. I just got to reel her in. Yeah. I'm pretty proud of that one. Not going to lie. Because it's a very small scene. And you're just thinking like, oh no, Clay's a bad guy.
And then you forget about it.
Yeah, and then at the end you're like, Clay's not a bad guy. This doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm proud of that one. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're on to our biggest plot hole, which mine is also again from Mr. Monk and the Three Julies.
Okay.
And Randy as a grandma. That was just dumb. They dress to catch, or to prove that the guy's crazy. They dress Randy up as a grandma, and it's just stupid. It's for laughs, but at the same time, it really could have gotten Randy killed because this guy's like evil or suspectedly evil. He's not actually evil, but could have gotten Randy killed. It was stupid, and it should have been a woman. Like they could have sent an old woman, just a woman in general.
The lady cop.
The lady cop, yeah.
Said, I'll take you to the thing, and then left Julie there to die. Yeah. That lady. Yep, could have been her. That's true. Okay. My biggest plot hole of the season, I had chose this one because I feel like it directly relates to the plot.
Okay.
And that is Mr. Monk and the Man Who Shot Santa Claus. Monk, 3 episodes before Mr. Monk and the Daredevil, he was petrified to go on the roof. Like, he was petrified.
Oh, yeah. Oh!
3 episodes later, he goes on the roof to just, like, check on Santa Claus, to tell him to stop throwing things off the roof. Again, he's afraid of going on the roof, guys. He would just call the police. Like, he would call the captain, hey, there's somebody throwing stuff off the roof. I'm not going to go up there. Or he would have said, Natalie, go stop him.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, no, Mr. Monk, I'm not going to stop him for that. Okay, well, then someone's got to stop him. I feel like, obviously, the natural choice would say, well, Monk will just stop him himself because no one else is going to do it. But he's afraid of heights. So he wouldn't even, like, let him. His phobias shouldn't even have let him do that.
Agreed.
Also, the title of the episode is Mr. Monk and the Man Who Shot Santa Claus. And then that Mr. Monk is the man who shot Santa Claus. So Mr. Monk and Mr. Monk. That's my other one. But I mean, I kind of cheated. That's 2. But that one doesn't have anything to do with the plot. I just thought, like...
Yeah. Sneak it in.
I just snuck it in. I think it was incognito. I don't think anyone noticed.
Okay.
All right.
That's it for plot holes,
yes,
right?
it is. How crazy was Monk this season?
Plus crazy nothings.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing crazy.
Well, kind of. So this is where we go over Monk's phobias, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any actual particular phobias that we learn about.
Yes.
And then also his eccentricities. So just the quirks that he has and the random things that he does. So let's start with the phobias.
Fire, sand, darkness, earthquakes, mushrooms, tigers, boats, charcoal.
Those are from Mr. Monk Joins a Cult. All those. He lists all those because Howie Mandel asks him, what are you afraid of? And then he says, in boats, and then he says, what about charcoal? And he, like, looks at the charcoal and he's like, yes.
Okay, so next we have trucks and trains.
That was from Mr. Monk is on the Run Part 1.
Mm-hmm. Then we have naked people, which is obviously Mr. Monk and the Naked Man.
Yeah.
Clouds or clowns.
Okay. All right, so also in Mr. Monk and the Naked Man, remember my plot hole about Monk being afraid of clouds?
Yes.
And then he looks up at the clouds at the end? Okay, check out the timestamp, 25 minutes exactly. Stottlemyre, I listened to it like 7 times. Okay, he says it's not like your fear of clouds or round things. Okay, I hear clouds. Multiple times I heard clouds. I never heard clowns with an N. Never. I heard that. Okay. But whenever you watch the closed captioning, it says clowns. It says clowns.
What?
Yeah. And so I was thinking, wait a second. Maybe he was supposed to say clowns. Or I'm hearing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's supposed to say clowns, and then that plot hole at the end where he's looking at the clouds is not a plot hole because he was supposed to say clowns. But go check it out, guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Monk and the Naked Man, that's season 6, episode 3, 25-minute stamp. Let me know if you think he's saying clouds or clowns with an N.
Yanny
Okay.
World.
Okay. And then also in the Naked Man, maybe he's afraid of round things. Maybe. We don't know.
Okay. So, the dryer lint.
Mm-hmm.
The gravel, obviously. Mr. Monk and the buried treasure.
Yeah.
Underwear.
That's in Mr. Monk and the 3 Julies. When the old man, he's like, oh, that's a huge handkerchief. He's like, that's somebody's underwear. He's like, oh, God. So, underwear, obviously.
4 feet ladders, ladybugs, Jeremy harmonicas, and immersion therapy itself.
Yep, which is from Mr. Monk and the Daredevil.
Yep.
All right. Next is going to be Monk's eccentricities. So I will go through these. So in Mr. Monk and the Rapper, he painstakingly syncs up twice a year his clocks for daylight savings. It's like, Natalie, it's okay. Just twice a year. Let's go. And 58, 57. Okay. Sometimes he blacks out, right? Obviously, that's the premise of that one. We learned in that episode also that he gets haircuts every first and third Tuesday of the month. All right. In Mr. Monk, in his biggest fan, we learned that he uses Pantene for dry hair because Marcy can smell it through the door.
Uh-huh.
We learned in that season and that episode that he switched to drinking Summit Creek water, guys. He no longer drinks Sierra Springs.
Yeah.
He drinks Summit Creek. So get it through your heads, guys. Okay. He likes square cookies because Marcy makes him some square cookies. And he's like, oh, They're square. And she's like, I knew you like them. Okay. We have in Mr. Monk is up all night. He gets his hair cut by Sebastian. He can go without sleeping for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
3+ days. Okay. In Mr. Monk and the Naked Man, we learn that he has sand shoes. What are sand shoes? We don't know. Okay. In that episode, he remembers his own birth.
Oh, yes.
Which subsequently helps him overcome his fear of nudity. So that's interesting. Okay. Mr. Monk and the Man Who Shot Santa Claus, we learn that he hates Christmas and joy because it's a trick. And Mr. Monk goes to a bank. He will not buy a new toaster. He's renting. And we'll see what kind of year he has. In Mr. Monk in The Buried Treasure, we learn that he can, in fact, recite the weather from every single day of his life. In Mr. Monk and the Daredevil, this is a little plot hole, right? Because he says that he always tells himself, at least I'm not Harold Crenshaw. Or is it Drifter's face? How will we know? Okay. Also in that episode, his record for not peeing is 9 days.
Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Monk is on the Run Part 1. This is the last one. He only watches Channel 10. And we see that he goes to Dr. Kroger's office 4 times a week.
Dang.
All right.
Son.
Okay, guys. Now we are on to what is our personal pick for top crazy moment.
Okay.
Noah, do you want to go first?
I would love to go first.
Okay.
We talked about it already on this podcast. So, it's Mr. Monk joins a cult, and he has the breakdown with Trudy, or he has the breakdown about not wanting to go to the cult. It's like a whole other side of Monk. He's like trapped in his own mind, and you see him like it's just an amazing scene. And you have to watch it.
Okay, so you're talking about specifically whenever he is trying to get out of the cult? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Whenever he's in the room.
Oh, he's locked in the room.
And he's kind of like throwing a tantrum and like not wanting to talk to anyone.
Oh, yeah, because Natalie tries to feed him pot pie.
Yeah.
And then Stottlemyre tries to basically like yell at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Randy gets converted by him.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Kroger goes in and he's like, Harold wouldn't have fallen for this. And he's like, I know what you're doing. Yep. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He does not want. Oh. Because when Randy's like, have you read this stuff? He's like, this guy's crazy. And he's like, have you? And then shirtless Randy. All right. Not a bad one. Okay. Mine has got to be 100% without question. In episode 3, Mr. Monk and the Naked Man, the Apple Core Key. This is the whole scheme, right? This is so Garbage Strike vibes. Okay. So, Monk's theory about how Chance Singer got out of the prison cell that he was in all night.
Oh yeah.
He could have totally killed this girl because how about this? The guard gives Singer an apple. Singer chews the apple core into the shape of a key. He fashions a rudimentary kiln using that light bulb and a sardine can. He hardens the apple core in his kiln and uses it to pick the lock. Thank you. An apple core key. No? Okay. All right. He slipped through the bars and went out the bathroom window. He just wiggled through. He's a nudist. They're all double jointed. Don't be so naive. They're not like us, okay? I think they secrete a type of fluid, like an oil. It's odorless, but I can smell it. It makes them all slippery. They can wiggle through anything. They're like slugs. What about all the cops that were on duty? They're in on it too, okay? It's a cabal. It's a secret society. Sometimes they're naked. Sometimes they go around dressed to confuse us, okay? They want to convert us all, and they won't stop until we're all like them on beaches and parks, hanging out. Everything hanging out, hanging and hanging. Captain, there's only one way to deal with them. We gotta ship them back. Ship them back where, Monk? Exactly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was this season's craziest moment. Thank you.
I liked it.
All right. That was our crazy moments for this season. So let's move on to our very final segment of this episode, which is...
Rate
rate this season.
All right, Kandyce.
Guys,
I'm excited.
I am too. This is the moment that we've been waiting for.
This is the very end of season 6.
This is where all of our consequences and all of our actions turn into those consequences when we rate and we give that sacred number to each episode, and then now we've got to live with what we've done.
Yeah.
16 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
we started this, and now we have to live up to what we said. What we said. We got to put it to the paper. Okay? We're going to rank these episodes. All right? And if you'll remember Nick M's list, all right? He had some doozies. He had some switcheroos from us, okay? I will tell you as we go along. Not every episode, but I will remind you of how off
we were from him or
he was from us, okay?
So, at the very bottom of our list, number 16, as it should be, Mr. Monk and the Naked Man. 5.5 out of 10.
Correct, yes. And I should say, my awesome rating scale has been converted to a more normal human rating scale, okay? So, we've averaged these out, and this one got a 5.5.
I think it deserves it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not too comfortable with the whole episode being centered on nudity. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom of the list, number 16, which he rated today.
I think his was number 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Number 1.
So I think honestly that many people would disagree with this. I don't
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes because it's like when you talk about episodes and they're like singularity, people are like, "Oh my gosh, this one's so funny. Oh my gosh, I love this one." But then when you start comparing them to others, they're like, "Yeah, no, it's not better than that." You know what I mean? So it's a little misleading. So maybe I might be wrong, but a lot of people seem to think this one was very, very funny. And
really,
yeah, it's one of my least favorite for sure.
Agreed.
I don't like the nakedness in general. I feel like Monk goes off the deep end, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that. And you know, as funny as that scene was, it's like, but you don't want to see Mr. Monk like discriminating against someone just because they're naked or wrong just because of a phobia.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that about him. So I don't like that he accuses the wrong person. And this episode has some big stars in it. It has Dietrich Bader.
Yeah.
It has Alfred Molina and Angela Kinsey.
Yeah.
And
They were all useless.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So it's one of those Jon Favreau in the Mr. Monk and the Dentist.
Oh, yeah.
Great star. Episode didn't land.
Yeah.
Execution not there.
Agreed.
Okay.
I totally agreed. That's probably why we gave it such a low rating. Because it had all the strange people and they did not use them.
And the naked.
Yeah. And the nudity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 15, second to last, is Mr. Monk and the Man Who Shot Santa Claus. And we gave it a 6.5. 6.4. 6.4. My bad.
6.4. How did that happen?
Oh, yes. Because you gave it an 8.75 and I gave it a 4.
Yeah. You
wanted
You wanted this to die and burn. You said in the
It
rating.
deserved to.
You were angry. Okay, so elaborate a little bit, just real quick.
I didn't really like it. It felt like a waste of holiday episodes, such like Christmas, and overall, I thought it was boring and nowhere near the best Christmas episode.
Okay, I liked this one. I liked the holiday vibes. We had tons of callbacks.
I did like that.
Yeah, we had like Randy Sweater and BBQ and all the things.
I'm gonna be honest. I felt like that was a little callback just to be like, "Ooh, remember this?" Because I like when they actually intertwine it like well, not like, "Look at that car. It says BBQ," as in this episode. Wow.
And I get what you're saying, but also in the sense that like they obviously were putting them all in there, and they don't really do that. They don't really do that on any episode make like you said, when they make a callback normally, it's well woven into a callback.
Like the lawyer.
Yes, exactly. Exactly like the lawyer. So, but whenever in this episode, they obviously were just they were giving you all boom, boom, boom.
All in my face, which I did not like.
But to me, that's fun. To me, that's
I guess we had fun going like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah. Okay, Monk hating Joy, hilarious. Garrett Price, hilarious. The bomb. I'm pretty sure that was a bomb. Okay, on further inspection, there may or may not have been a bomb, but we're pretty sure there was a bomb. Okay. Randy's Christmas sweater, loved it. And then the cookies. They had the Santa cookies. And
yes.
he's like, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yes, Mr. Monk, you already said Merry Christmas. We got it. And he just eats the head off the Santa Claus. And he says there's no such thing as Santa. Oh, and crushes Randy. Oh, man. All right.
That is all for Mr. Monk and the Manufactured Santa Claus. So, next is 14 on our list, which is Mr. Monk and the Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm actually curious to see what we both rated this. You rated it a 6.25, and I rated it a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's too dark. Way too dark. I feel like this episode could have been tons better. Harold was hilarious.
Yeah.
Todd Packer, a.k.a. Joey Crenshaw, was hilarious too. Them making fun of that poster. Yeah. So funny. And we mentioned, right, that Lindsay Chambers drew that poster, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's on Instagram if you haven't seen it. She drew the poster. It's really good. Okay. But Monk's situation it was way too dramatic.
Yeah.
Way too dramatic. We already talked about this. Way too
did.
dramatic. Doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Why he would be that upset about this. But we got a good dog costume out of it.
Yeah, we did.
So there's that. Yeah, other than that, Harold is amazing. And it could have been so much better, in my opinion. So much better.
Agreed. Wasted space on Harold. But I actually think I rated this one a little too high. Because, 7 is, average. And I think it's below average. So I think your rating of 6.25 was extremely fair. And I think I should have given it a 6.5. So it would have evened out. But
I don't think it would even have gone down, though.
It wouldn't have.
Yeah, it wouldn't have gone down. So it's all right. It's all right. We rated well. Okay. Next one.
Next one is Mr. Monk and the Wrong Man, which I actually personally like this one. I don't know how I got to 13. I probably tanked it and forgot about it. I didn't tank it. You tanked it. Kandyce.
This is my least favorite episode in this entire season.
No way.
Yes, it is. Monk being wrong is not fun, for one. Max Barton, total ick vibes the whole time. And what probably I dislike about it the most is that he's not even trying to be a better person. He's not even trying to sell the fact that he's not a total murderer. He's mad at Monk for, quote, wrongly convicting him whenever he knows good and well that he didn't. And obviously he would be trying to hide that fact, but still, he does not try to hide the fact that he's just not a good person. You know what I mean? Because it's okay, you can be mad at Monk. That makes logical sense. But you're also being a really bad person because Natalie, who had nothing to do with anything, went out on the limb for you, got you a job on the loading dock, and you're acting so rude. You're just messing with your own job. You're probably going to get sent back to prison if you don't have a job because you're going to have to steal stuff. It's just, I don't like Max Barton. He's the worst. But the tattoo is classic.
That is a classic.
That is a classic. And then also the make out. Natalie, just make out with him. You're not even doing anything. Why don't you make out with him? No.
I didn't really like this one, but it was a solid episode, and I think you could have given it a higher score if I'm being honest. So, just saying. Next on our list, we have Mr. Monk and the Buried Treasure, which is also a 7. Mm-hmm. And it is a 7 because I actually tanked it. I didn't even take it. I just gave it a 6.
Yeah.
And you give it an 8.
Yep.
So.
Very average, I feel like.
Very average.
I feel like very average, yeah. Because I gave it an 8, you gave it a 6. Evens it out to a perfect 7. And the reason that I gave it an 8 was because I changed my mind about this one after we dissected it. And I love that about this show is that I used to find this bland episode, just a filler episode, which maybe it still kind of is, but I think there's a lot of character depth with Monk, with Dr. Kroger, and with his son, and Troy and his friends. They were punks, but they were still funny.
Yeah.
And I feel like at least Troy learned his lesson, right? Because his friends were like, well, that was fun while it lasted. And Troy's like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And in the end, he learns his lesson and he follows in his dad's footsteps, which I like. And then also, there's another make out thing. Mm-hmm. Do you want to make out behind that tree? No. What about that tree? No thanks.
I love that scene.
Yeah. And we also get Randy's big gulp.
Oh, yes.
His limitless drink.
His baby cub.
His baby cub, yes. Exactly, guys. Exactly.
Okay. Next is 11. Mr. Monk paints his masterpiece. We give it an 8.
Yes. Okay, you know the season is good when this is number 11.
Yeah.
Right?
We gave this both an 8.
Yeah.
So we were strong on the 8s.
Yeah. Oblivious Monk, cocky Monk, was hilarious.
Absolutely.
His Eastern Light, his robe and his beret, of course, a pig woman, the flat banana,
Big woman.
and Pechelovac from Moscow. Love it. This one was so cute. I want to say it was so good because I think all the rest of them are so good.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be dramatic. This was so good. But again, pretty solid episode for being number 11. I feel like normally our top half of our episodes are
weak.
Our top oh, you're saying like the bottom half. I'm calling that the bottom half. Like our top episodes are like we're getting excited. Yes, they're this good.
Yeah.
Like oh yeah, now we're getting into it. I feel like this episode, I feel that way. Like I feel like we're getting into the good stuff already at number 11.
Yeah.
Personally. So,
I think I rated this one a little too low. I could have given it an 8.5, so that way they give our next one a little bit more of a chance against our next one. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so our next one being number 10. So we're on the top 10 now. Mr. Monk and the Birds and the Bees, which is 8.25, and our last one was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think Mr. Monk and the Birds and the Bees was not as good as the last one.
Okay.
And Paints His Masterpiece definitely gives Birds and the Bees a run for its money. Because I actually like that one better. Because I rated them both an 8. But you rated Birds and the Bees an 8.5. So it got it slightly up.
Okay. See, okay. And I totally get what you're saying. However, this may be my favorite Julie action, like, that we see.
Really?
Yes. So, and we personally had so much fun with this episode.
That's true.
We were going off about Tim and Clay and the photo t-shirts and the talk. Him and Julie's talk was epic. So, yeah, I'm not mad at this one. I love the clue, right? You know me, I love the clues, and I liked the canvas one with the paper, but I feel like the photo t-shirt was a good one.
Yeah.
I like that the photo t-shirt is the clue and that the guy sees it and then he goes through this really roundabout way. Like he's not just going to steal the t-shirt from her. He's going to break her up with her boyfriend so she never wears it.
Yeah.
It's pretty clever. I like it. I think it's clever. Yeah. So, again, our girl, Emmy, love it. Love that episode.
Okay, you said this was your favorite Julian action. Next, we have number 9, Mr. Monk and the Three Julies, which we both gave we gave it an 8.5. I rated it a 8, and you rated it a 9. Yeah. So you rated it better than last episode.
That's true. That is true. Because another great Julie episode, right? Like you said. But I loved the spooky vibes in this one. I think this one had a great plot, whereas the other one had a good clue.
Okay.
Like a singular, like, oh, the shirt. But this with the 3 Julie Tigers.
Yeah.
I loved that one. The suspense in that one was so good and so high. Whereas the Birds and the Bees, it wasn't really like that. The reason I like the other one for the Julie action better is because she's a little bratty Julie, but she's also like a flirty Julie. She's also a little rebel Julie. Where this one, she kind of is. But again, we had so much fun talking about the other one, and you're like, no, I love you, Julie Tiger. And so to me, it was more special. I think this one was about her driving, and she didn't take her driving test seriously. And it was just a little bit more like bratty Julie. Not as well-rounded Julie like the other one was. Like the other one had the talk.
Yeah.
Which is a sweet moment, right? This one just kind of bratty Julie.
I like this one better than last episode, Julie-wise, because it has less boyfriend.
Oh, I see. I understand. It's all coming together now.
But seriously, I really, really, really like the spooky, oh my gosh, is Julie gonna die? And then it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's so creepy. But he actually wasn't the murderer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I really, really liked that episode.
We also have the Stottymobile.
We do have the Stottymobile.
Yes. We also have Randy as Juliet Teager. First come, first served. Where's the return of them?
Where's the return of them?
How about, for the love of God, he has a knife? I love it. That's really good. And then also Monk, please be alive. Please be alive. Please be alive. Eyeball drops.
Please be dead. Please be dead. Please be dead.
And then, of course, one of my favorite things about any episode is whenever the other characters get to shine.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a Monk-centric episode. This was very much Natalie and Julie. But then Stottlemyre gets his car, and then Randy gets to be the old lady, and everyone else shines a lot. And I really, really love that about those episodes. So
agreed.
Love it.
Okay, we are now finally on our top half of the list.
Yep.
So we're down to our bottom 8. Mr. Monk and the Rapper, which we gave an 8.75.
8.75, yep. And this was Nick's number 16. This was his bottom episode.
Oh no.
I will say that I feel like there's a lot of this is like an oatmeal cream pie. People either love this one or they hate it. Because they don't like Snoop, they don't like rap music, they don't think it matches with Mr. Monk, and they don't like it.
Yeah.
People who like Snoop Dogg or like the rap, Monk being silly with his slang and all of that, they love it, right? So I get where he's coming from. However, we obviously disagree on it. Again, Snoop Dogg was amazing. The daylight savings time was a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Under the limo. That's where the surprise is. Under your seat, like Oprah giving prizes. Obviously, okay? Tick, 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 kaboom! The name of the song was Car Bomb.
I really like this episode. I'm surprised I gave this one another 8. I've given the past 3. I've given number 8, number 9, and number 10 all 8s. And you've been just varying. You literally got to decide all 3 of these because you're the only one who differed at all. But it was a solid episode. I really liked it. I like Snoop Dogg. I like, the premise. The plot was great. The mystery was great. The crime was great. Overall, loved it. It was a funny episode. Nothing was too serious. And it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like all the Monk slang.
Yes.
Homely. He means homie, and he doesn't really mean that. Word, everybody word. Truth to power. Killa, Natalie, killa. Natalie thinks secretary is a dirty word. And then, of course, the summation. One of the best summations that we've seen thus far. And, yeah, love it. Again,
I do.
The Rapper is very good. It definitely deserves that 8.75.
It really does.
Yeah. See, I feel like you gave out 8s like they were Halloween candy. I gave out 9s.
You gave it a 9.5.
9.5, yeah.
Dang. Okay, so this next one, Mr. Monk and the Bad Girlfriend, we actually rated it the same as last episode. So we rated both Mr. Monk and the Rapper and Mr. Monk and the Bad Girlfriend an 8.75. So it had come down with me and you going, which one's better? Mm-hmm. Which we chose Mr. Monk and the Bad Girlfriend.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's a really solid episode. It has Linda, Stottlemyre. We see a lot of the relationship and Stottlemyre getting broken. And I think it's a great episode, which is, I rated it, what did I rate it? I gave it a 8. Of course I did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So why, just could you answer off the top of your head, why do you like this one better than the Rapper?
I think it's because the Rapper was more of a, joking not joking, but it was just more silly overall. And this was like a serious episode, and I really, really, really loved it.
That's a great point, Noah. That's a great point. I remember we watched this one with Toby, and he was kind of just like offhandedly watching it, and he was like, wow, that was good. I was like, it is, right?
Yeah.
It is good. I love this episode. The pin clue is my favorite. Like, one of my favorite clues of all time. Stoudemire's acting is great. Like, Ted Levine's acting is great. His heartbreak is so tangible. I love it. Linda accusing Monk is one of my favorite aspects of this episode, where she accuses him of seduction.
Yeah.
And she's like, is that so hard to believe that Adrian Monk, wants to sleep with me? Oh no, because she says, Monk was touching me, and he said that if I didn't sleep with him, that he was gonna accuse me for murder or something. I don't even remember what she says. But anyway, and he's like, Adrian Monk wanted to sleep with you. And she's like, is that so hard to believe? And you're like, yes, you crazy lady. Yes, it is so hard to believe. So yeah, I put that. It was good. Also very unique, because we don't get to see that much from Monk, which obviously we like. But I just like how his morals, they're so high that it can't be true. Yeah. Bam. Also, the fact that what she did, that she put that whole set in the back of her truck, was so clever. Yeah. And then she parked on a hill, and she's like, I parked on a hill. It's crazy. It's so good. It's so good.
Okay. Next on our list is 6. Mr. Monk joins a cult, which we gave it a solid 9. Yeah, we both gave it 9s. And great episode. Solid episode. I enjoyed it. Kandyce, do you have anything to say?
Howie Mandel, fantastic. I love Dr. Kroger's performance in that one scene that we've already talked about with Trudy's photo. He was so good. All the characters stood out in that whole deprogramming scene. Each of them had their own characteristics shown in that one scene, and it was amazing. I loved it. I honestly, I know I keep talking about that scene, but for me, that scene right there gave it that 9.
Yeah.
And which made it the number 6 episode, because this easily could have gone up or down. That one scene is just killer, man. It is killer. I also love the diversion of the cult leader having nothing to do with this crime. Again, obviously he was a bad guy. Even though no one wants to join a cult, he's still a bad guy. But yeah, they basically had 2 summations, because one's about the doctor coming over and, him bending over, doesn't want to hurt his back, all the stuff. And then you have with the bloody seatbelt in the car and the traffic cam light. And so you have 2 summations and 2 explanations, and they were both good and they were both clever.
They were.
Love it. Love it.
I like that. Yep. Okay. Number 5 is Mr. Monk is Up All Night, and we gave it a 9.25. I gave it a 10, and you gave it a 8.5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why'd you give it an 8.5?
Personally, I would move this one down on my list.
Really?
I don't like this one as much as the cult or the girlfriend or the rapper. But again, I understand how people love it. Trudy's eyes are super memorable. Mm-hmm. Donald Logue, remember the actor? He is really good as a swindler.
Yes.
He has some cute scenes. Monk poking the dead guy.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, wake up. But there's no Natalie action in this episode.
Yeah.
And that affects it. And then what I think one of the things that you loved about it so much, if you want to say, is something that I didn't like about it. So, which is
the fact that it was all over the place?
The fact that it was fever dream.
Oh, yeah. The fact that it was all over the place. It was weird and hallucinative, and in the end it all came together, which is why I give it a 10. I really, really do love this episode, and encourage you to watch it, and I'm kind of disappointed it was actually this low. But you're disappointed it was this high, so I guess it worked out. Yeah. Top 5 isn't bad.
We can both be disappointed. Mr. Monk would approve. Also, we have Randy as Captain America.
Oh, yes, which I went for Halloween at junkmonkpodcast on Instagram.
Yep.
Go check it out.
Check it out. All right, what's next?
Next is our number 4 episode, Mr. Monk Goes to the Bank, which is a 9.7. I rated it a 9.5, and you rated it a 9.95.
Mm-hmm.
which evens out to be a 9.7.
Yeah. This is a classic one for me. The Silver Man. That silver bastard. Randy, I know you can see this. Silver bastard. Randy killed it when he stood still multiple times.
Yes.
Natalie flirt was crazy strong. She's flirting a little bit with Randy. Mm-hmm. She's flirting with Monk. She loves him in his uniform. Look at you. Look at you. Monk gets to get back in his uniform, which is amazing. And, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It really is. I really like this one. And it's very, like, old school. But, like, not old school, just, like, simple. And I showed this to my sister, who's barely ever seen Monk. And she really liked it. She was like, oh my gosh, wow, are they going to make it out? And because it's a really good, like, beginner episode, I will say. Like, if your friend's like, okay, I'm only watching 5 episodes of Monk. You're like, okay.
Be like, thank you. 5 is good. 5 is a lot. I like it.
Yeah, 5 whole hours of Monk. Yeah, but seriously, this one's a great episode to show someone, and that's why I rated it so high.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, Kandyce. We're in our top 3.
We are in our top 3.
This leaves...
I like these a lot.
This leaves third, Mr. Monk and his biggest fan, which we gave a 9.75. This was the opening number 1 of the season, and we gave it our highest. Why did we do this, Kandyce?
This is an outstanding episode. Mm-hmm. I honestly, again, I feel like we have a little bit of reversal. Let's see, what did Nick rate this one? This was his number 5 episode, so not too far off. Uh-huh. But I do feel, and I see a lot in the groups, people either love this one or they hate it. Mm-hmm. Because again, I honestly think it's like, they like Snoop, they don't like Snoop. They like Sarah Silverman, they don't like Sarah Silverman. And it's just so unfortunate because, again, I feel like she's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love it, so I'm not going to let that stop me. I gave this one a perfect 10, right?
I give it a 9.5.
I gave it a perfect 10. Mr. Monk met his neurotic match. I love it. I love the fourth wall breaks. I love how she names all the episodes. I love the diorama. I love the song. I love the shrine. I love this is your cup. This is your lamb. This is your rug. These are your pants. His pants? I love the dead dog. The dead dog Otto, right?
Oh, yes.
Do you still have the brush? Do I still have the brush? Yeah, that'd really be helpful. Yeah, I'll go get it. I love the dead dog. And the jaws, the metal jaws, how he makes a mold of his jaws and then they're upside down. And Sotomayor's like, the teeth are upside down. He's like, the teeth are upside down. And then they go save him. And Marcy's like, pause, pause, pause. It's so good. And also we have the Bachelor auction. Right? Yes. Linda bids like $2,000 for Stottlemyre. Randy's like, should I take my shirt off? And she's like, no. And he's like, boom. And then he has his boom box and he does his Sunny Chow moves and he gets all into it. And then nobody bids on Monk, which is really sad. But then Marcy does and he's like, beefcake. So good. So, yeah, but Marcy is top-notch comedy, people.
So funny.
Notch.
I love it.
I love it. It's so good. So that is why we rated it so high.
Yes.
To answer your question.
Okay. Top 2, Kandyce.
Yep.
They're basically a movie.
Basically are a movie. You're right. Can I first say that Nick's number 2 episode was Mr. Monk and the Man Who Shot Santa Claus?
Oh my god.
Yeah. He did have his number 3 episode was part 1 and his number 1 episode was part 2. So there's some similarities there, but his number 2 episode was Santa. Isn't that crazy? I love it. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick. Let us know why. Could you let us know why? Let us know why in the comments,
Santa
Nick.
Claus was so high for some reason.
I liked it, but obviously Noah hated it, so convince Noah. Ready, set, go.
Okay. So, top 2, number 2 is Mr. Monk is on the Run, part 1.
Monk in this episode is actually on the run. We see him running through the forest.
Yes.
We see Natalie saying goodbye to him, going into prison, and she says, don't worry about me. And then he escapes. And then it ends with Stottlemyre shooting him. Monk, don't do it.
Yeah.
Pow, pow, pow. Falls into the ocean abyss. To be continued. The first ever to be continued Oh, man. It was beautiful. It was golden.
And I had to wait a week to watch the second one.
You did, but
That was terrible.
let us know. Was it worth it? Drum roll, please.
Number 1, Mr. Monk is on the Run, Part 2, our first ever 10.5.
Yep. Now that I know that we can hand those out.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. It was so worth it, in fact, that I gave it an 11. Because I really, really did want it to be everything this season. Because I knew you would give it a 10. And I knew we gave last episode perfect 10. So I had to up our game on that one. So I gave it a 11.
Yep. Once again, every single scene in this episode is epic. Natalie grieving and her disdain for Captain Stottlemyre is just gut-wrenching.
Yes.
Gut-wrenching. We also get a lead in Trudy's case, which is amazing, which we haven't gotten in quite a while. And Dale the Whale is done for good.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
Gosh, please.
Also, why? Tell me why. Did a man... It's good, man.
Yeah.
Have to die. Shot down in his prime. 48
Or 49.
Yep.
It was such a good episode.
It was. It was amazing. Eureka.
Absolutely.
The bomb. Jumping in the car. Turning off the keys. Dale the Whale. His drop the mic moment with Dale the Whale was amazing at the end. You know, I'm out here, you're in there. And then Dale the Whale's like, you're in your own prison. Inside your mind. And then he's right. Because Dale the Whale knows everything. And Monk kind of shrugs. Tries to shrug it off and walks down and he meets Natalie at the end of the hallway and they just walk away together and then boom. It's done. It's done.
It is done. I really, really love this season. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
The only episode I would not consistently watch again and again is 16, Mr. Monk and the Naked Man. That's it.
Yeah.
I loved every single other episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just such a solid season. I think this was probably the best season we've done.
I think so.
Right?
I think so. I mean, we liked season 4 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of good ones, like we said, Home Again, Jury Duty, great. That was great. Season 5 dipped just a little, and we were like, last season was better. We didn't hand out many 10s. Mm-hmm. You didn't hand out any 10s. This season, we have, I said, our top 11 episodes. I'm into them. From Paints' Masterpiece on up, I would be confident to say, like, those were good, solid episodes. Where, again, like, I liked Buried Treasure, but I'm not going to argue, like, no, that's a good one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say Paints' Masterpiece up, good episodes.
Yeah.
So.
I gave 2 9.5s, 2 10s, and an 11. And you gave 2 9.5s, 1 9.95, and 2 10s.
I gave 3 10s. Because Marcy's.
Oh, yeah, no, you did give 3 10s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally did.
Dang. All right, guys. So remember, if you want to show someone Monk, okay, here's our recap.
Come on, Kandyce.
Here we go. 16, Naked Man. 15, Man Who Shot Santa Claus. 14, The Daredevil. 13, Wrong Man. 12, Buried Treasure. 11, Paints His Masterpiece. 10, Birds and the Bees. 9, The Three Julies. 8, The Rapper. 7, The Bad Girlfriend. 6, Joins a Cult. 5, Is Up All Night. 4, Goes to the Bank. 3, His Biggest Fan. 2, Mr. Monk is on the Run Part 1. And 1, Mr. Monk is on the Run Part 2.
Oof. Honestly,
now maybe don't show them the first two, number 1 and 2, but from there you're good.
Agreed.
You don't want to do spoilers and stuff like that's lame. But yeah.
I'm not too mad at him for giving it. I actually am kind of mad at him for giving in The Man Who Shot Santa Claus number 3 spot. But if someone was like, "Hey, what episode of Monk should I watch?" and someone said that, I wouldn't be too mad.
That's
Any
that's true.
of these,
it's cute enough.
I would be okay with.
Yeah.
and that's all you need in Monk.
Exactly. As a standalone, especially like a holiday episode, I'm sure that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
It was a Christmas special, put it in there. Monk hates joy. At the end, he's joyful, and he's the man who saved Christmas, and there you go. Easy peasy.
Kandyce.
All right.
Another day, another season.
Our final thoughts on season 6. I feel like we summed it up pretty well.
Oh my gosh, we have.
I put our some highlights of this season.
Okay.
We have our Junk Monk swag store. We have so much swag. Yeah. We have got masks. We've got hoodies. I love my sweatshirt. My sweatshirt is like my most favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
We've got socks now. We've got mugs. We have our mystery monk boxes still going strong. People are still entering to win those. If you want to check out our socials and learn how to enter that, go for it.
You know, we also grew a lot in our fan art, which I really, really do enjoy.
Oh, yeah, we got fan art, yeah.
We had so much fan art this season, and I'm looking forward to season 7 fan art, hopefully, please. Thank you.
We don't need more fan art, guys. We've been over this. We're talking about monk art.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, monk fan art.
Monk fan art.
We also got our own fan art, which is sick.
Yeah.
But monk fan art, we can add it to the wall. You guys saw the wall last week. So that was cool.
You don't not be inclined to make us fan art, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah, for sure.
Choose one or both. Us with monk.
Ooh. I want our little monk guy and us drawn like in that kind of character. That'd be cool. But what about our number one top thing that we did this season?
What was our number one thing?
Our Hi Conrad interview.
Aww.
That was epic. Was that not epic?
That was so cool.
That was so cool.
I really did love that.
so glad that we got to do that. And he was such a great interview, and he answered such detailed questions. He had a great memory, and that was just such a fun memory for us now.
Yeah.
Very cool. No matter whatever is said and done about this whole podcast, we interviewed Hi Conrad, and we got to pick his brain in the writer's room, and I love it. So
now we just need Tony Shalhoub. We say that every season.
We do. Yeah, guys, if you can make that happen, just go ahead. Help us out. But yeah, hopefully we can do more stuff like that though for real in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully that pans out for us. If you know of any way to make that happen, feel free to
hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Hit them up. Whoever you
hit anyone. See the person to the left of you? Yeah. Just punch him in the face. Hit him up. This is such a good season.
Yeah, and also if you have any ideas, because we actually had some people dress up with us for Halloween, right? And someone said oh my gosh, this was so fun. I'm so glad that you guys did this. Had a blast. And I was like, hey man, if you know of anything, any ideas of us to do other things that are like this, as a monk community, let me know. So if you guys can think of anything that's fun that we can all do or participate in and share, let us know. And maybe we'll get a bonus episode out for you guys soon, with your guys, input and your opinions.
As in unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to see that, because it's already in the works.
Yeah.
I really want to do that. That sounds like such a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
It's going to be fun. All right, guys. We will see you in season 7.
Follow us on Instagram.
Mars shall have its 7th avenue. What is it?
Season.
7th season. Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram at junkmonkpodcast, at Hardens and Hard Hats, at Kandyce Sloane, and at Noah L. Hernandez.
All right, guys. We will see you in season 7, and y'all stay safe.
Because it's a jungle out there.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she's at Hardens and Hard Hats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-3 366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.